Welcome to the Even Better podcast, where your host, Sinikka Waugh of Your Clear Next Step, brings you exciting content about making communities better by helping people get even better at work.
Today's episode is brought to you by Your Clear Next Step in the Changemaker Certification Program.
Would you like to save time by solving the right problem sooner with a realistic and measurable plan? Reduce overwhelm by finding more sustainably productive ways to work? Improve employee morale by creating more positive workdays from within? Stay competitive by tightening your turn or increasing your agility in adapting to changing customer demands? If you said yes to those things, then we have the solution for you.
Interested in becoming a changemaker? Give us a call at 515-442-0545.
Hello, everyone, and thanks so much for tuning into this edition of the Even Better podcast. This is your host, Sinikka Waugh, and I am so delighted to have you join us today. So we're going to talk a little bit about change today, and this is part of the Your Clear Next Step mission to help us all have even better workdays so that together we can co-create better communities. And nobody, I know, nobody likes to talk about change. So you're ready to turn off the podcast and skip ahead to the next one, but don't do it. Don't do it. Stick around because we're going to talk about change, and we're going to talk about the changes that happen sometimes that are not what we wanted, like those changes that someone else did. It was a change that someone else made. Maybe it was a change that you made, but you didn't think it was going to be that. I didn't realize that's what was going to happen. I didn't understand that's what they were going to do. I didn't know that's how that was going to turn out. Or more likely, if it wasn't something that you picked, if it was something that someone else sort of made happen in your life. So maybe you go to work and it's something that the organization to which you belong has embraced as part of their strategy. Maybe it's something that your leader has embraced as part of a team task or a project that you're doing. Maybe it's something that you are experiencing as a customer that a vendor or a service provider used to provide, and now they're not providing it anymore. Whatever it is, it's a change that has happened to you, and you didn't ask for it. And in fact, now that you're sitting with it for a minute, you don't want that. That's not something that you asked for. And in your first blush response to it, you don't want it. So what do we do? What do we do with that? This happens all the time. Prices go up. I didn't ask for a price increase. I don't want that. They made that product smaller. I didn't want smaller. I didn't want it to change. I liked the old way. Come on, I know some of us can relate to this. Or on my team, I didn't ask for my best and favoritist colleague to go take a job somewhere else. I wanted them to stay with me and keep working with me. Sure, yeah, it's a great and wonderful opportunity for them. Go them. Yay, and that's wonderful for them. But man, I liked the dynamic that we had together. I liked working with them. I didn't want that to change. Or maybe this situation that I'm in, I took that job or that opportunity or that thing, and I thought it was going to be something, and I got there, and when I took that job or when I took that role, it was with a certain set of expectations, and then I got there and something changed. That leader that I thought I was going to be working for is in fact not the leader that I'm working for, and the leader that hired me went and took another job somewhere else, or the role that I got hired into is not the role that I'm doing, and it's not what I thought it would be. It changed, and it's a change that I didn't want. This is not it. So what do you do? What do you do? This kind of change, my friends, has the potential to really disrupt our days, our weeks, our months, our years, our lives. This can be pretty unpleasant. And we, with that unpleasantness, have the ability to make things pretty miserable for the people around us. And it's a choice, right? Mom always taught us, you choose your own attitude, YCYOA. And I'm not going to lie to you, some days that is harder than others. sometimes those changes were things that if I go back, I will acknowledge I had some part of that. There was some piece of that I did choose. There was some action that I took that brought us here. I do own some portion of my life decisions. So there, if I unpack part of this, I got us here, but I don't own all of that. Maybe an accident happened and now I have a broken leg and I didn't cause that accident. It was an accident. I didn't cause that lightning strike that burned my house down. I didn't cause that other driver to be careless on the road. It was an accident. It was their fault even. I didn't cause that. I didn't want this. So we can churn in that. Sure, I was the one who got in my car that day, but I didn't cause that accident. Something else did. And yet, we're here. Here we are. Here we are. What are we going to do? We got to go forward. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes on this. I'm not going to dwell on this. We're not going to be here for a super long time, but I'm going to offer us 4 practical, tactical things, 4 things that we can do. And then I'm going to send you to a couple of additional resources. So the first one I'm going to invite us to is the power of the pause. So here's step 1, the power of the pause. And the power of the pause is to give ourselves pause. Give yourself a moment. Take a deep breath. Be mindful. There's that word, be mindful. I was reading something or paying attention to something that was joking about Gen Xers and our ability to be mindful. We spent much of our childhood mindful, right? That's all we did. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't do anything but be mindful. We just sat. We just sat. We were aware of time ticking by. We were waiting. We were paying attention to the things that were going on. We were thinking about our actions until dad came home, or, we were watching the sunset. We were paying attention to when the street lamps came on, so we knew it was time to come home. We were, in fact, mindful. But that aside, let's pay attention in this moment let's give ourselves the power of the pause. Let's pay attention. The power of the pause, and give yourself time to think. Give yourself time to feel. Sit with it for a moment. Feel what you feel. Think about what's going on in your life right now. Feel what you're feeling. Honor those emotions. Honor that feeling. Give yourself a minute to just feel it. Recognize what's going on. Where are you? What's in that space? What hurts? What is that feeling? Name it. Don't make it your identity. It is not the same as who you are, but name the feeling. Give it space. Allow it to be. Don't squish it down deep inside to fester. Name it. What is it? Pause for a second and feel it. Okay, so a change has happened and it's something that you didn't want. What is this change? What is this new thing? Take a look at it, recognize it. Don't let it be that which shall not be named, but name it and recognize how you feel about it. Do not equate this change with your new identity. It is not who you are, but honor and recognize your feelings about it. Then get to the second step. So can it be undone? Is this change something that is big and dramatic and huge? Maybe it's little, maybe it's small, maybe the prices have gone up, maybe it's packaging change on something that's outside your control, maybe it's a team dynamic change, maybe it's a job change, maybe it's a situation change, maybe it's whatever it happens to be. Stop and ask yourself, can it be undone? Some things, in fact, can be undone. And when you sit with a change that you didn't want, it's a change you didn't want. It's a change that's happened. You're looking at it. You're going, this is not. Nope. This is not what I wanted. Sometimes you realize that change is not what you wanted, and it is back outable. It is something that you can say, this is not it. This is not for me. This is not what I want. I need to undo this decision. I need to backstep. I need to make a different. I need to take a different course. I need to take a different course of action. I need to change. I need to redirect. Nope, not for me. If this is one of those, then let's get out of it. But when you find yourself in one of those situations where you're like, I can't go back anyway. My leg is in fact broken. I cannot unbreak my leg. Those prices have gone up. I am not single-handedly in control of lowering those prices. That decision has been made. That ship has sailed. If it cannot be undone, then any energy that you waste on bemoaning the past state is simply that. It is wasted energy. You can look back with fondness on the past. I'm not going to take that away from you, but it is simply looking back with fondness on the past, bemoaning the past and agonizing over the past and wishing the past back is a waste of time. If it cannot be undone, stop trying to undo it. If it cannot be undone, stop trying to undo it. Ask yourself in this moment, even if this is a change I did not want, is there anything that I can do to undo this change? Because if there genuinely isn't, then stop trying. Instead, look forward. Look forward. And that gets us to step 3. Step 3 is, what does B look like? Okay, if A was where I was before this change that I didn't want. So I had a team member that left the team. I really loved working with that team member, and they have now left the team. Can it be undone? Can I turn the hands of time back and get that team member back? Well, no, because they have now left the organization. They've moved on. They are embracing their new life and going and doing great things at this next place that they've moved on. They're gone. I can't get them back. I can't go back to the way we were. It cannot be undone. So now, step 3 is, what does B look like? If A was the world in which we had a team with me and this other team member and the other 5 of us who used to work together, so we had this great team, that was what A was. Now, what does B look like? What does this new state look like without that team member? How do I define a world in which the team operates successfully and healthily without them? How do I create a world? Because I don't want to sit in agony. I don't want to sit in misery. I don't want to continue to operate in a world in which I am unhappy. That's not okay. I don't want to live with that. I want to create a space in which I do have daily joy. I want to create a space in which I do come to work and I enjoy coming to work. I want to like the things that I used to like about work. I want to continue to foster a sense of whatever the community was that existed without this or with this person. And I want to foster that without this person. So what does that look like? What kinds of activities do we need to do? What kinds of culture do we need to create? Do we have the opportunity for a new hire? What would that look like as we build our team together? What skills did this person use to bring treats? Do I need to bring treats? Did this person used to be responsible for humor? How do we find around us humor? Did this person used to be the one responsible for lightening the mood or getting us back to work? How do I lighten the mood or get us back to work? What does B look like? Or if that is a space, if it is a void, if it is a vacuum, then how do we operate with that void or vacuum? How do we fill around it? What else fills in its place? How do I create a B that I can delight in, that I do look forward to, that I do delight? What does B look like? Because I want to move to a place that is obviously and urgently better than the one that I'm sitting in right now. Because the one that I'm sitting in right now is sad. The one that I'm sitting in right now is a spot that I don't like. I just fell off a cliff. I don't like it. I don't like the fact that they're gone. So how do I look forward to something that I will like? So step 3 is to shape that B, that future that I do like. Step 4 then is, how do I choose to make the journey? Now, there is a path, and it's a heavy path. I'm not going to pretend it's not. There is a journey to making it work. There is a journey to making the path work, to building new skills. If I have to figure out, someone who is very, very dear to my heart has built their own sense of humor. They did not used to have a sense of humor, and they've built this beautiful sense of humor. And it is a learned skill. And that is something very, very intentional. And I'm not going to pretend that happened overnight. It's been years in the building, and it's just a delight to watch. How do I take the time to build the skills that I need to make that work? So step 4 is, how do I choose to make that journey? Over the time it's going to take me to get from where I am right now, which is unhappy because a change just happened that I didn't want. In the time it's going to take me from where I am right now to where I want to be, which is delighting in my new circumstance. How do I choose to make that journey? Do I choose to complain about it every step of the way and make everyone else around me miserable? Or do I choose to learn things as I go? Do I choose to make each step a little bit better than the one before? Do I choose to delight in the journey? Do I choose to grow along the way? Do I choose to bring others along with me in the fun? How do I choose to make the journey? Because that, my friends, is also a choice. So changes happen that you didn't want. I use the example of a team member leaving, and those can be sad moments. It could be an example of an injury that you didn't want. And the state that you're headed to is B, which is a state of recovery. I'm looking forward to that recovery. I'm looking forward to a life where I am a healthy human and I am operating and functioning well in the space that I'm in, even if that means it's a different kind of functioning than I had before. I'm looking forward to functioning well and participating in my world. What's the journey to get there? Maybe it is the prices went up. You know what? That stinks, man. But how do I choose to get creative? How do I choose to make the most of my dollars? How do I choose to make the most of my time or grow my own spices or herbs or vegetables or whatever it happens to be? How do I choose to make the most of this? It is, my friends, it is in our attitude. It's the only thing we have control over at the end of the day, is our attitude and our mindset. How do we choose? So when a change happens to us that we didn't want, these things happen often outside of our control. I invite us to stop, pause in a minute, take the power of the pause. Step 2, can it be undone? If it can, undo it. And if it can't, then consider, what does B look like? And how am I going to get there? Step 3, how do I choose to make the journey as pleasant as possible? So I've got another version of what happens if I am trying to decide looking forward. This was a change that happened to me that's already happened. Well, what about if you're trying to decide? There's more. There's another episode where I go into that. So maybe you want to tune in for that. But I did offer some more, that I steered to some more resources. Take a look at our website. If you haven't been out to our website, yourclearnextstep.com is where you can get to our website. There are, there are lots of resources on our website. And included in that is the resources, which is our blog. And our blog has lots and lots of resources. At the bottom of our page, you'll see the blog. You can click right on there, or you can go to resources and tools, lots of resources there. If you go to our blog, you can browse around. You can see our most recent things. If you search in our blog, you'll see lots of resources on change. I invite you to take a look. You can just hang out there. There are lots and lots and lots, hundreds of posts that you can read over time thinking about various topics. There's one out there called Change Out of My Control. That'll hit you on the first couple of pages. You can also do a search on our website, or search for change out of my control, or when the change wasn't what you wanted. Either one of those will get you to some more reading that you can do on when the change is out of my control or it wasn't what you wanted. I invite you to take a look at those, enjoy some further reading, and we hope, thank you so much for listening. And on behalf of all of us here at Your Clear Next Step, I hope the rest of your day is even better.
Thank you for tuning in today. The Even Better podcast will be back with more content soon. But in the meantime, subscribe to our podcast or check out our website at yourclearnextstep.com for more information. See you next episode.